Go on then, Al.
Filth. That.
We off.
Good filth.
Good songs do.
We're going for like The Lick with Trevor Nelson.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's gonna film sides on.
So go on that first one because seriously we're running out of time, aren't we?
Yeah.
Afternoon, lads.
Afternoon.
Go on, sing it.
We're not meant to.
Oh, this is happy nice, not even.
This is gold, this.
We're ready.
Yeah, we're ready.
We're going.
Yeah. Up a bit.
Afternoon, lads.
Afternoon, lads. I imagine you're looking forward to the album finally being released after all this time.
Indeed.
Yes.
We always hoped to kind of get it out last year, but yeah. Early 2006 is a great consolation.
Things are 2005.
And then
A lot of people are.
Well, that's what I thought. I thought we might have been a 2005 band. Well, it were either one or other, but now it's been a bit of both.
It often gets mixed up because you see, in end of last year, people were like saying, "Let's see what 2005's best band have got to say about certain things," talking about us, and then
You wind up.
in another thing, start of this year, people saying, 2006's band. So
So that's
Would it
2
be good
years.
to have
We
two
fall
albums
into
out
that, yeah.
2006? Why not?
I'm looking forward to putting all the art to giving people the opportunity to see what it's all about finally.
It'll be good to put it to rest. All the hype.
Like Jamie says, there'll be some. It's going to be hype, and then it'll be. Have they got staying power? Can they last?
there's always some. There's always
When did
something
I ever
to-
fucking say that?
All right then. Someone else. Some
Yeah,
clever
so-
fucker might have said it.
I
No.
remember you saying that.
Someone clever might
It
have said
sounded better than I said.
You probably said it.
There's always something to niggle at.
it. Niggle.
So when the afternoon when I bet you were looking on the dance floor at number one, where we all gathered together or
I mean, pack close with you. We were.
Yes, everybody was together, including yourself.
You were there.
On the afternoon.
I was
friends.
asking that. You were there.
Well, when we went to
On the
number
afternoon.
one, that very afternoon, we were all slash evening. We were all together in a local pub called the Packers.
Remember?
Families, friends, just
Reverends.
bystanders, everyone were there. It were
an emotional moment.
very nice and emotional day, evening.
The internet seems to have done a lot in terms of spreading the word about you guys
The
and
man
taking your
cried.
songs to a wider following. Do you think that's the key thing, or do you think it's more about the songs and what the lyrics mean to people?
Yeah, it's.
Definitely about the songs.
But I mean, I think the internet, obviously, like
That's
you
been
can't
like
discount it. It
Oh,
has like
It's helped.
sped the whole thing up.
It
I
just
imagine.
took longer if it had happened.
But yeah, I don't think because the weird thing were like the week after it went number one, everyone had to kind of put a reason on why it had happened, like publications, and then we were in like some like Economist and all that sort of thing about that kind of what are these sort of four unknowns of top charts, and it was like, oh, it's down
must
to
be
this
internet.
huge internet thing, and it's like they were mad things like saying that.
Yeah.
We used to hold forums with fans.
We
and
used to
stuff
chat
like
to
that,
fans and
like,
encourage
chat,
them to share us things on the internet.
which is just like absurd.
Everyone needs an explanation.
They do.
And really, it was just down to people kind of, I don't know, feeling a certain affinity, I suppose, with the songs or a certain, and then just I started caring about it, I suppose.
How do you feel when you compare to people like Jarvis Cocker or Morrissey, and in the way that you managed to capture little snapshots of things in Britain, etc.?
I don't know. Really, it's very nice, but I've never, I never really kind of. I've got into Smiths since the band started, but I could never say I was a huge fan of either of those people growing up. But I've certainly got into Smiths since the band started, and I've got like a respect for Pulp and that. But
Do you feel like your newer songs, such as View from the Afternoon, do you think are taking you in a slightly different direction?
yeah, perhaps I don't know. I mean, I think like what would you say? Like the second half of the record's quite.
I'd say it's a bit more, dare I say, experimental. There's definitely, it's like a sketchbook of ideas that have just progressed. But you can tell how it's worked though. It's not like it jumps from one style to a different style. It gradually changes.
Can we expect different things from you in future then?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, where we see it, I think, is like you sort of.
Capture the moment.
You might have an idea for a song, but it might be like 6 songs away, if you know what I mean, like in terms of writing it. But you've got to do like those 6 songs in order to get to be able to do that bit of sort of, I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's like you'd have
Can't
to
do that without doing that.
Yeah, you've got to kind of go through the motions in order to get to do like this different sort of style or whatever you want to do. You can't just jump from there because it'd sound like ridiculous. But so you kind of want to, I don't know. I don't mean in terms of like the way it's tracks on the record. I just mean like in terms of writing, like you might sort of write things and they'll become, although you don't realise it at the time, sort of stepping stones in order to get to this other thing.
Do you have a lot of new songs that people have never heard then?
Now, yeah, we've got quite a lot, yeah.
They're doing some demoing.
We've got quite a lot. I mean, we've
cracking
sort of come like 10 ideas or whatever, 10 going on more. Yeah, just want to kind of carry on and not, because like the weird thing is like the album, even though it's only just like coming out in a couple of weeks, we've been playing them songs for quite a long time. Like before we got signed and before we started doing this, proper tours and that, we're still playing a lot of them songs that are on there. So they do seem quite old to us now somehow.
I feel like it's more of a 2005 record than a 2006 record.
I mean, we always hoped to try and get it record out in 2005, but things take time and all the rest of it. But early 2006 was good, and yeah, I don't know. I don't think
it's like about 2005, so it can come out now.
Yeah, they kind of. I mean, a lot of them were sort of written last summer, and they were even about times before that. But it's not that different, really. No.
It's often said that you're into hip hop. Is that something that you listen to a lot, and especially in terms of your vocal, Alex?
Well, for us three, used to be quite into hip hop at school. Jamie were more into his sort of like more like rock music and that, and he probably got us into like idea of bands and stuff. But yeah, I suppose there is a bit of that. It's like I like to think I've got a pretty tight flow.
Ill
flow.
Whatever you say I am, that's what I'm not. What is that?
Whatever people say I am. That's what I'm
Yeah.
not.
What's this? What?
Whatever people say I am. That's
Can
what
we do
I'm
that again?
No?
That's a good one line.
Oh, we can have that bit if you want.
Okay.
Whatever people say I am, that's what I'm not. The title of the album is from a film. Just a little quote that the main character says when he's got caught up in his next door neighbours, etc., judging him, and obviously don't like it. And he does a little speech and it ends with whatever people say I am, that's what I'm not. And we kind of stood out as a thing for us. And the film is called Saturday Night and Sunday Morning, and that kind of is the theme of the album as well. It's got a bit of that in it, so
there's a concept.
That were after though, we didn't realise. I mean, obviously we knew what film we called, but we thought, oh yeah, that makes sense as well. It's not like we planned it all. We just liked that quote, and it was just like.
But it's like got attitude, that quote.
Sounds kind of related to us a bit, and obviously not what every single person says about us, because some people like us as well. But when it's not true, that's
But it is really like you read stuff like all the time now, and it's just so like misquoted, or it's not even things that you just never even said. Like, well, it's not that bad, but it's just a bit annoying.
You don't want to become tabloid fodder then?
No,
not at all.
Where did is there a concept behind the whole album, or is it just
no.
a collection of songs?
It's a collection. Well, obviously, it's a collection of songs put together well, I'd say. But it's not like we just had loads of songs. We just put them on, like 1 to 13. We thought about order quite a lot. It's not like we wrote the album together either. So.
They're the only ones we recorded like in that session. We recorded them in order.
Yeah,
in the order
because we knew what order we wanted all songs to be in, but we didn't go into a studio and write an album. We already had like songs written that had been written from 2 years ago, whatever, a year ago.
You just got to go off on a Bratz tour in January and February with Maximo Parton being hard. Act for them to follow you guys as their headline.
Well, they might say that, but we're quite modest. So they've obviously been around a bit, had an album out, so you can't really argue with the bill, if you ask me.
Is there any like shows in the UK that you remember more than others?
What that we've done?
I like shows.
Yeah. See, I always remember Middlesbrough Empire, which was on the first tour, but that was like a big gig for us. Like first time we played to that many people probably.
Wakefield.
Wakefield Escobar. If you beat that, then then you've got a good gig. But obviously Reading and Leeds as well.
We'll say a little bit about Wakefield Escobar.
Wakefield Escobar, you don't expect what I'm about to say. No, like you go to Wakefield Escobar and it's like a trendy little place like with leather poofs and like nice settees and stuff, and probably funny shaped glasses to drink out of. But
Probably sell old garden.
probably yeah. And we played there and it just changed completely when we came on. And there were people getting on stage because it was like not a very high stage, and like jumping off settees into crowd and footprints on the ceiling.
When were that? That must have been
February.
Was that last year or were it the end of 2004?
No, it'd be like February when we did that.
So like about a year ago. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
a year
March.
ago.
It's been about a year.
March.
Yeah, maybe February, March last year. And this were like that were kicking off then. So.
Monday night.
Reading
wasn't it?
veterans.
And it were even a Monday night.
So that's
Yeah.
2005.
Yes.
February 2005.
Roughly.
Have you found the European audiences different to those that you've come across in Britain?
Yes. They are quite. It varies even within Europe though. It's not like they're all as different. They're. But it's strange depending on where you are, because a lot of European gigs we were supporting, so it was like a different kind of crowd. And then some of them they had screaming girls out at one of them, and that were pretty strange. But there were quite a lot of English at some of them as well.
Any gigs that stand out in Europe?
In England, no, anyway.
Europe.
In Europe?
Oh, Europe.
Even German ones were really good.
Oh yeah, they were. Yeah, Germany in general.
Berlin and that.
Obviously Amsterdam were a bit. That were funny because it was like it was the first one and we went out in day and stuff, and that was it was a good one. That. But there were like quite a lot of English there, so it weren't really that different from an English gig, just smaller.
Mm.
Did you sample the local produce?
No. We had a look round Red Light District, from a tourist point of view.
How did you find it?
We asked Portman. He'd been there the day before, so he knew exactly where it was. No, yeah, it was quite overwhelming actually that things like that go on, and it's allowed, but yeah, quite strange to just see people in windows telling us that like shot, you know.
And where were they from? Your local boozer?
Pretty well, yeah.
I don't know.
Just ain't got windows. That's the only difference. Wooden doors.
Did you get many Brits coming out to watch it in Europe?
Yeah, quite a few.
Oh my gosh, I just disappeared.
Just
So,
walk off. Some more
Just
than
cut
others.
it, so I
Like Amsterdam, like as I said, there were a lot there. But I think there were near enough everyone. There was at least one. Whether they were just because they lived there or whether they travelled. But yeah.
Are you squashed?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna-
Yeah. Do you wanna
cut
Yeah.
it so I disappear.
just suddenly disappear? That'd be right funny.
Well, we got it all, haven't we?
We've got all end bit.
I'm going to ask you about bands you're into, that might be nice. Uncle Kick some
Oh
more.
yeah.
No, you can't. Just gotta go football trading.
Right.
Do that. Just do bands. Do new bands, old bands.
I'm just,
Sam.
don't run me on there.
He's got to go though.
Eh?
He's got to go though.
Okay.
That's why I cut it.
How did you find Japan?
2 minutes. Again. No. Japan, that was quite strange. Very strange place. Completely different culture, different people, different attitude towards bands, I'd say. But good gigs. Just quite a strange experience for us.
Nice food.
Nice food, but we'd never seen nothing like it, so it was a bit strange for us.
Sushi.
Yeah, I did. No, yeah. Yeah, right. I weren't really into the raw fish thing. I had a some wonderful steak, local delicacy.
Oh,
The
Holy
best
Ray.
steak that's ever been in my mouth. Probably the best thing that's ever been in my mouth.
Apart from
Are you sure?
Yeah, definitely.
Anything you're looking forward to for this year? Any New Year's resolutions?
Trying to eat healthy.
I'm trying to eat healthier, to
Interesting.
be honest with you. Yeah, well, look after yourself, and you maybe get a bit fitter. So I'm looking forward to a bigger frame and more tattoos. No, I'm kidding. Partly.
Current bands, is there anyone particularly taking your fancy?
There's a lot of new bands coming around, like there aren't even
all
there yet.
local bands.
Especially a lot in Sheffield. But you know, you could go on all day naming bands you like. Let's name something all like. No, I don't know.
All bands. Should we do that?
I mean, old bands is easy because it's like you've had time to think about it, and You had time to see if they've gone out of fashion or not. No, but old bands. I mean,
Clash,
Clash, Clash,
Smiths.
Yes. I mean, I like